Hello. This is a guide on how to get the Destroy the People of Earth achievement in Stellaris. For this achievement, you have to beat the United Nations of Earth as the Commonwealth of Man, while your ruler has the Brain Slug host trait. I'm not going to be using any multiplayer trick or Savescumming to get this, but I'll tell you a couple of ways you might make your playthrough easier if you are willing to do this. The general strategy is still the same, so let's go ahead and get started. The anomaly we're looking for is called Abandoned Settlements. Note that the Abandoned Station anomaly does not work. It must specifically be Abandoned Settlements, which is only found on habitable worlds. Our strategy is to find this anomaly as soon as possible, and then contain the United Nations of Earth before changing our leader to a Brain Slug leader. After our leader is a Brain Slug host, we finish off the United Nations of Earth, and then earn the achievement. Before I select my empire, I'd like to note two things. Firstly, you can't simply use a custom empire named the Commonwealth of Man, and then another empire named the United Nations of Earth. I've tested it this way, and I did not get the achievement. You'll also notice that I have almost all of my DLC disabled. This is to reduce unnecessary variables. The only DLC I have enabled is the Humanoid Species Pack, which is necessary to get the achievement, and the Distant Stars Story Pack, which is necessary to get the anomaly involving the Brain Slugs. These are the settings that I'm using for my playthrough. Let's go over some of the more important settings. We play on a huge galaxy to give us as many opportunities to find the anomaly as we can get. It's possible that if you play on a galaxy size that's too small, you can survey the entire galaxy and still not find the anomaly you need for the Brain Slugs. This happened to me a couple times, so to get this done in one playthrough, we make the galaxy as big as we can. When you play as the Commonwealth of Man, the United Nations of Earth is guaranteed to spawn as a result of your origin. Because of this, we set AI empires to 0, so no other empires can complicate our playthrough. We keep tech and tradition cost at 0.25x to speed up the playthrough. The AI also has lower research costs, but this is a benefit for the player as long as we prioritize tech higher than the AI does. Because the anomaly we need only spawns on habitable worlds, we keep habitable worlds at 5x to maximize our chances of finding it. We also keep primitive civilizations off so that they don't get in the way of us finding the anomaly. For the purposes of demonstration, I'm going to be showing you me getting this achievement on Ensign difficulty. Playing on lower difficulties doesn't just make the UNE easier to defeat, it also gives you economic bonuses that make the early game significantly easier. Of course, you can turn up the difficulty if you're looking for a challenge. We keep hyperlane density maxed out and wormhole pairs at 5x to make it as easy as possible for our science ships to traverse the galaxy. However, gateways affect the anomalies that spawn in a system in a negative way for us, so we keep those at 0. Most importantly, we keep Iron Man mode on so that we can of course earn the achievement. With that out of the way, we can get started. The first few years of the game are going to be focused on surveying the surrounding area, getting a few colonies up, and getting our research up as fast as we can. The United Nations of Earth is never going to invade us, so we can afford to neglect our military technologies in favor of economic and research speed technologies instead. You may notice that I'm using add-ons in my playthrough. As long as add-ons don't change the checksum of the game, meaning that they don't change the way the game is played, they don't get in the way of earning achievements. I'll paste the add-ons that I'm using in the description below in case you'd like to use them too. When you're recruiting your scientists, your number one priority is looking for scientists with a higher anomaly discovery chance, as these give you the chance of finding abandoned settlements faster. If you can't find that, survey speed is still more important than the normally prioritized research speed. You don't particularly care about anomaly research speed, since you'll be ignoring most of the anomalies you see. You can forego your first few traditions until after you have at least one extra leader, but when you do get your first tradition, make sure it's discovery. Discovery is easily the most important tradition, followed by prosperity and supremacy. Don't forget to activate the Map the Stars Edict as well to speed up your surveying. By now, I've got a lot of science labs on my homeworld and a couple extra colonies up as well. The extra colonies will be used for basic resources and consumer goods, and then later on, Unity and alloys. Don't be afraid to heavily utilize the market to speed up your development. With the area around our home territory mapped, we're going to start looking for the Abandoned Settlements anomaly around the galaxy. This anomaly can only spawn on habitable planets, so my science ships are only going to survey the habitable planets in each system before they move on to the next. We're not surveying the entire system. This system is not strictly necessary. If you don't like this level of micro, you can just survey every system manually or leave your science ships on auto survey. I'm doing this for demonstration as it's the fastest way to find the anomaly. Now that I've found the UNE, I'm actually going to delay my first contact investigation until I've completed scanning all of the uncolonized habitable planets in their territory. I still have a chance to find the anomaly in these planets, and I don't want to waste the opportunities. You should keep the UNE happy until you're ready to invade them, so that they don't invade you and you can get a sensor link from them. This is as easy as making sure your slavery and purge policies are set to outlawed. As long as you leave them with at least one system and a planet, you can invade the United Nations of Earth as soon as you're ready. In my case, I was lucky enough to find the anomaly before I was ready for war, but if that's not the case for you, contain the United Nations of Earth while you're looking for the anomaly. Once you've found abandoned settlements, complete it as soon as you can. Allow your science officer to run the experiment on the brain slug, and then after that, spread the brain slugs around your empire. Your planets will have a small stability hit. Once this is done, you will need your ruler to have the brain slug trait. To do this, reform your government to a democracy or oligarchy and wait until the next election. Support any candidate with the brain slug host trait. At the next possible opportunity, reform your government back into a dictatorship to keep them as your ruler. For an extra chance at getting an appropriate leader, fire all your leaders without the right trait and replace them with leaders that have the brain slugs. Now that your ruler has the brain slug host trait, you're ready to finish off the United Nations of Earth. Once their final planet and system has been taken and they cease to exist as an empire, the achievement will pop. The last things left to go over are the multiplayer trick and Savescumming. You can use the multiplayer trick to speed up your conquest of the United Nations of Earth. I've never done this trick, so I don't have footage of me doing it, but if you do want to do it, load into the game as the United Nations of Earth once your borders are connected and give all but one of your systems to the Commonwealth of Man. Destroy all of your fleets and then load back into the game as the Commonwealth of Man. You can close your borders to the UNE and survey the rest of your galaxy at your leisure. Savescumming isn't too useful for this achievement. You might be able to use it to re-roll for the anomaly, but this might not be worth it based on the time it takes to quit and reload the game. If you are going to do this, make sure you queue up a lot of science ships to finish surveying a habitable planet all at once, so you can check multiple planets per load. I hope this guide was helpful in earning you the achievement. In my opinion, this was the hardest achievement in the update. I have all the other achievements, so let me know if you need help with another one. Thank you for watching, and good hunting.